Hey everyone, welcome to Thought Room. I'm Daniel, and I'm really glad you're here today. Today's episode is called Your Future is Waiting for You. And before we start, let me introduce our guest again. Mia is here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here again. I always enjoy these conversations because they feel very real and honest.
Today we're going to talk about something very simple but very powerful. Your future is not something far away. It is something you are building right now. Most people think procrastination is about laziness, but I don't fully agree. I think it is more about fear, discomfort, and mental resistance. We often know what we should do, but we delay it anyway. We wait for motivation, for perfect timing, or for a better version of ourselves. But the truth is, that perfect moment rarely comes. And while we wait, time continues moving forward. So today, we're going to explore why people get stuck and how small actions can completely change direction.
I completely agree with what you said, Daniel, and I think I experienced this many times in my own life. There was a period when I really wanted to improve myself, especially with English speaking. I would plan everything in detail, like when I will study, what I will study, and how I will practice. But when the moment came, I often delayed it. Not because I didn't want it, but because it felt uncomfortable. I would open my laptop, sit for a few minutes, and then suddenly find something else to do. Sometimes I would clean my room instead of studying. And at the end of the day, I would feel tired, but not satisfied. I thought I was progressing because I was preparing, but preparation without action doesn't create change. And the strange part is, I didn't realize this immediately. It took time to understand that thinking about progress is not the same as making progress.
That's very honest, Mia, and I think a lot of people will relate to that. I also had a similar experience when I started building consistency in my own projects. I would spend a lot of time planning and organizing everything perfectly. I would think, if I prepare enough, then starting will feel easy. But actually, the opposite happened. The more I prepared, the more pressure I felt to make it perfect, and that pressure made me delay even more. I realized something important later. Starting will never feel completely easy. There is always resistance at the beginning. But once you start, that resistance slowly disappears. It's like your brain is afraid of the first step, not the process itself. And I think many people never pass that first step.
I think that first step is the hardest one emotionally, because it forces you to face reality instead of imagination. I remember one moment very clearly. I tried to speak English without preparing anything. I felt nervous, I made mistakes, I paused many times, but something surprising happened. Nothing bad actually happened. Nobody judged me, nothing collapsed, and that moment changed something in my mind. I started realizing that fear is usually bigger in imagination than in reality. And once I understood that, I became more willing to try, even if it was not perfect, even if it was messy.
That's a very important realization. And I think this connects directly to the idea of your future. Because your future is not created in perfect conditions. It is created in imperfect actions repeated over time. Most people think success comes from big moments, but actually, it comes from small, invisible habits, like studying for a short time every day, like practicing even when you don't feel like it, like showing up even when motivation is low. And the interesting part is, these small actions don't feel powerful in the moment, but over time, they completely change your direction. And direction is more important than speed.
I think intentionality is the key word here. Because when I stopped thinking, I need to be ready, and started thinking, I will just try, everything slowly changed. Even small things, like 10 minutes of English speaking practice, or recording my voice even if I didn't like it, or trying to explain my thoughts even if they weren't perfect. And something interesting happened. I started feeling more confident, not before action, but after action.
Exactly. And I think another important point is identity. Every small action is shaping the type of person you become. If you consistently avoid things, you build an avoiding mindset. If you consistently act, you build an active mindset. And both directions grow silently. That's why procrastination is not just about today. It is about your future self. Because your future self is basically a collection of your current habits. And that's why even small decisions matter more than we think.
Yes, exactly. And I think procrastination is very emotional, not logical, because I wasn't avoiding work, I was avoiding discomfort. Speaking English felt uncomfortable. Making mistakes felt uncomfortable. Not being perfect felt uncomfortable. So instead of facing that discomfort, I would choose easier activities. I would watch videos about productivity instead of being productive. I would read about confidence instead of building it. And at the end of the day, I felt like I was working on myself, but nothing changed.
And I think if people understood this deeply, they would treat their daily actions more seriously. Not in a stressful way, but in an intentional way. Because your future is not far away. It is being shaped right now. And even if someone feels behind in life, it is never too late to change direction. Small steps still count. Even slow progress still counts. Even imperfect actions still count. And I think that's the most important message. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to start moving as who you are right now.
And I think the biggest problem is that people want visible progress too quickly. If they don't see fast results, they assume it's not working. But real growth is often invisible in the beginning. It's like planting something. You don't see anything for a while, but under the surface, everything is changing. And I actually have a funny memory about this. There was a time when I wanted to start something new, and instead of starting, I spent days organizing everything. Folders, notes, plans, everything was ready. But I didn't actually begin. And I remember thinking, I am working on it. But I wasn't. I was avoiding it in a more organized way. And I think the turning point for me was when I realized something very simple. My future is not built by thinking. It is built by doing. Even small doing. Even imperfect doing. And I think if people understood this, they would stop waiting for perfect timing. Because your future is not far away. It is being created in the decisions you make today, right now, this moment. And even if you feel behind, you are still in time to change direction. And once you start, everything slowly begins to change.
That's a perfect place to end today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe to Thought Room, like this video, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Because your future is not waiting for perfection, it is waiting for action. Take care, and remember, your future is waiting for you.
See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.